Hi guys, Rachel, Spunky Misfit Girl here, and I am back with part 2 of this little ephemera folder, accordion folder, whatever you want to call it. A little something that folds out to hold your ephemera. And I have put together, I used 2 craft circles at about the 1-inch circle punch, and then I don't know what this little size is, but it fits nicely right on top. You can get them in groups together a lot of the time. And then I just glued some decorative paper on top of each of those so that it looks good. I've got those sitting and waiting and drying because I'll put those on in a minute. I went away, and so what I did was I took another envelope of the same size and I used the flap on a piece of paper to create a template, which has, as usual, disappeared. And then I used that, there it is. And then I used that on my paper that I wanted on to actually put on here. And I had to cut it a little bit to the inside because, of course, it's too big if you use the whole space, the whole size. So that's ready to go on here too. So at this point, I'm just going to take these 2 pieces. And this is not an exact science, you guys. I know some of you like to really follow along step by step with exact instructions and the exact thing to buy and get and do. So maybe these kinds of videos are not for you, but I am aiming to give you just the basic structure of the project, and you can figure out how you want the details to go yourself. So I'm just taking this piece of paper that I cut deliberately to the size for this cover. So it's going to go over the book cloth, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a border around there, and that is going to make my cover. Yay! And I might decorate that a little. There's some nice empty space in there that I think I'll put maybe some words or some lace or something in there. This guy is for my flap. I'm going to tape him up too. And I do like, with my edges for these, to use tape, just because it means I don't get glue squishing out all over the place and then have these ugly glue spots. And that way, if my glue fails for whatever reason, hopefully my tape holds, and vice versa. So I do a little bit of each. Tape around the edges, glue in the middle, and then I'm going to put this guy on here. I have seen a lot of really cool looking YouTube videos flash by me lately in the junk journal groups. So I have a bunch of projects waiting, I believe, to try out and film for you guys. I just have to get some time, hopefully this weekend, to dive into my YouTube and all those things that I've saved to see what I want to work on and try out. All right, this guy is not perfect. Probably if I were going to do a whole bunch more of these, I would work on refining that template. And where the heck has my bone folder gone? That's what you get for traveling. But that'll do for a first try. Let's put the back on too. Let's take a look at how this is going to go here. So, yep, I want this guy to go just like this. And then I want to do some inking of my edges as well. And we've got to do our closure. Tell me I did not lose my little piece for my closure. Because it looks like I did. What did it stick to? Seriously, guys, I don't know how this is possible. It's like, there it is. It's just that I can't see. That's the real problem. All right. So this guy goes on my back. Just like this. And again, it's going to go over the top of that spine, but I want to make sure I get it far enough here. So I'm just positioning, burnishing. Yay! And there's some space on there too to do some decorating. My cloth, yeah. Okay, so next I'm going to ink this guy up. And as usual, I left my crocodile across the room. But I've got a whole bunch of owls right next to me. Because of the classes, so I'm just gonna use one of those to go through these guys. Make a hole. In there, they're still kind of wet. Not super dry yet, so I don't want to be too hard on them, but that should do it. And then I'm going to take this guy and see where I want him. My pencil. And make a mark. I'm being a little quick about this because I'm figuring most of you will have done this before. If this is your first video that you're watching of mine ever, it's probably not the best for that. But I think I have a video separately somewhere that's specifically about how to make this style of closure. So you can find that one. And I will do this a little more slowly for you. So I'm just gonna take my brad and I'm gonna thread it through. Oop, and my hole is a little too small on this one. Make it bigger. Get that all the way through. Just don't want to bend the heck out of him. And this is actually a lot easier with a whole bunch, which is what I normally use. There we go. Gotcha. So through the small one, through the big one, poking myself. Yay. Looking good. And then through my flap. My flap hole's a little small too. There. And that one really wasn't centered, but that's okay. This is really like making a prototype in real time. All right, and so then actually what I need to do now is figure out something for this inside, how I'm gonna cover this inside flap before I glue this down. Because that's gonna go just like that. But that should work pretty well. So let's see, where did my rest of my sheet of paper go? for this. I've got more of this matching one, which I moved. Okay, I don't know if there's enough. It's not big enough, I don't think, because I punched that out of there. So this guy matches that outside. On this side, if I wanted to use it, I could. So let's cut off here because I want to use this edge. And figure out how we can do this using our open envelope. We're going to want to go down, I don't know, maybe about just here. Just here. So something like this should be safe. So let us just gonna try to, I wanted it on this edge. So we're gonna go right up against this edge over here. So the less cutting we have to do the better. And we wanted it kind of not too far down in here. So I'm just gonna start kind of right in here and trace around that outside. And for these, in my envelope journals, I usually cover them up all the way to the edge, which does make it easier for making that piece. So maybe that's what I'll do here too. Cut that piece off and cut that off there. And then trim that out with my scissors according to my shape. I've got this little hole punched out of here, but I don't think that's gonna matter because it's gonna be underneath the piece that's covered up, but we'll see. I try to default to the inside a little bit of those lines because this is gonna need to be a little bit smaller since we traced around the outside, right? So I'm thinking this is gonna go something like this inside here. Right? That fits pretty well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line it up on this inside, kind of about where I plan to put it. And I'm gonna fold, make the crease for the fold. Take that out of there, give that a good burnishing. And I'm gonna ink it up. Just around the edges. This one's gonna be hidden, so I'm not gonna bother with that one. And then I like to do my creases for those envelope flaps, especially from both sides, that nice, well-used feeling. So, that guy looks pretty good, like he's gonna fit just right. And then this guy's gonna come and glue over the top, so we will in fact cover up that other piece. So I'm gonna put some tape again. Actually, with this one, I'm gonna just do glue. Just because it's a little trickier to get these exactly right in place. I'm gonna muck up the tape. The tape's a little, needs me to be more precise right away, but this one might take a little bit of moving around. All right, so we're gonna just put this guy on top of here, cover up those brad legs. And that's our inside. Just kind of get that guy to adhere. Ooh, I love it. I'm getting excited. Getting close. And then I think we can just glue this guy in here. And we need some kind of a ribbon or twine or something, but I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this guy down now. I'm gonna give a little time for that to dry before I fold him up, but I do want to show you what it looks like when we do. Take my tape off. Woo-hoo. It's not going to be the prettiest thing I ever made, but it works, and I can do it again and make it prettier. It's all that matters, right? That's why I started doing this anyway. Don't know about you. All right, look at that. Now, aside from that glue, don't use glue. Use tape on those accordion folders. That's why I'm having that trouble. But look at that. That is an ephemera folder if I ever saw one. And it is pretty. It's pretty on the inside. So, if I fold that over, I'm gonna probably need to trim this a little bit. And I do want to ink it. But that's good. It's a little, once you make that fold, sometimes kind of shifts a little, especially if my glue's not dry. But I think that's the basic structure of my little ephemera folder. 2 envelopes, 5 pieces of paper, and your bookbinding supplies. And I think I'll put this pretty gold. So I'm just gonna wrap that around my circle, make a knot, cut that knot off, or well, don't cut the knot off. Cut the end off. Sure, that's secure. Kind of moved a little. And I'm gonna wrap it around just like that. I think just once. Put a little knot in the bottom here, especially because that gold in there can kind of fray sometimes. And there you go. That's part 2, your ephemera folder finished. Thank you guys so much for watching.